author and former aide to the late, great Senator Tom Coburn of Oklahoma. Good to see you again, John.
Yeah, it's great to be on again, Jim.
So you saw this all play out here. I think we knew we were heading down this road. Matt Gaetz certainly indicated it over the last couple of days. Are you surprised it got to this point?
You know, Jim, sadly, I'm not surprised. I think, the problem in the Republican Party today, it's not Republicans in name only. It's the rebels in name only. Those are the rhinos that are the real threat to conservatism and to the institution of Congress. And to respond to the congresswoman who was on before is, Democrats are not interested in protecting democracy here. They're interested in protecting Democrats. Republicans caused this problem by tolerating Matt Gaetz's behavior for so long and enabling him. But what Democrats have done is they joined in to get rid of a speaker, and the alternative is not going to be better than Kevin McCarthy. So this is not going to head in a good direction for either party, and it's going to be bad for the country.
That was something that many people have said. That was a discussion we were having in the newsroom earlier tonight. Was who would be the next speaker? And you're right, because when you look at who the names were put out there last time around, we had obviously Kevin McCarthy, we had Jim Jordan, Byron Donalds, Kevin Hern of Oklahoma. Some of these names that were put out there as possible candidates. Obviously, McCarthy eventually prevailed there. I'm curious though, because you worked, as you mentioned, for Tom Coburn, who was a congressman, then a senator, and he was involved in an attempted coup, for lack of a better term, against Newt Gingrich back in 1997 or so.
97, 90. Well, Jim, actually, I staffed the successful coup against Newt Gingrich. So I come at this from a perspective not of reflexively defending leadership, but of defending the cause of constitutional conservatism. And the big difference in the late 90s was that a group of conservatives wanted the GOP to go back to the founding principles of the country: limited government, the enumerated powers, shrinking the administrative state. And today, what is Matt Gaetz after? What is his ask?
Yeah.
Where's his plan to reform Medicare? Where's his plan to reform Social Security? What is his plan to constrain Vladimir Putin? So he doesn't have a coherent worldview and conservative outlook. And so in the 90s, the other big difference is Tom Coburn did it very, very quietly. What happened is after the GOP lost seats in the 98 election, when they ran on, their platform was just running on Bill Clinton's Monica Lewinsky scandal. Sure. When that didn't work, Newt Gingrich was told, look, if you don't step down, we're going to file a motion to vacate. And they did that very privately and quietly, and then Newt resigned. So Tom Coburn never tried to raise money off of his, quote, coup, and he was very discreet about it, really, for his entire time in office.
And by the way, that was something we saw, not just Gaetz, but other Democrats as well, sending out those fundraising emails rather quickly after all of this. Look at that.
Here's one right there.
Look at that timing. How about that?
Yeah.
Next step now, we've heard names thrown out. The likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene say it's time to make Donald Trump, the Speaker of the House. But the reality is, we've talked, as you heard me mention with a Congresswoman, 45 days. They're waiting a week to come back and pick a speaker. Who knows how long that's going to take, how long Patrick McHenry will have the gavel. There's a lot of work to be done. Do you think they did the right thing in adjourning and trying to assess the caucus right now?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think the temperature is too hot, I think, to make any good decisions. But again, this was a disaster and a fiasco. There's no happy spin to put on this. No. And just as a country, we have to go back to the American revolutionary principles of limited government and reject the French revolutionary idea, which is just pure destruction, burning things to the ground. And that's what makes America unique, is that we believe in constructive disruption, and that the American government is always in a state of being renovated. And that doesn't mean you burn it to the ground. That's what the French Revolution did. The American Revolution was about building, and we have to get back to building as a country, and especially as a Republican Party.
Last thing I want to ask you, because we were here 9 months ago, and I know I talked to you within the last 9 months, but obviously after that vote, do you think Kevin McCarthy gave up too much to get that gavel? Because keep in mind, all it took was Matt Gaetz to get up. In the past, you had to have at least 5 members of Congress get up and say, we want a motion to vacate. All Matt Gaetz had to do was get up and say, motion to vacate, and that's how we got into this. So is that one of the many there were many concessions he had to make, but was this a bridge too far for him?
No, look, I think just to put that in perspective is the reason, the real answer there is, why was the House GOP majority so small? The reason the majority was so small was because Donald Trump insisted on nominating unelectable candidates. So in other words, members or candidates rather, who won primaries but were unelectable in a general election. So the irony is, because Matt Gaetz' wing got its way, the GOP majority was so small that Matt Gaetz had the authority or the ability to negotiate with Democrats to get rid of the speaker. And that's the irony here is Gaetz complained that McCarthy cut a deal with Democrats, but Gaetz' fix is to go cut a deal with Democrats to oust the speaker. I mean, it's completely incoherent and bizarre.
John Hart also co-wrote the book, The Debt Bomb, which is something obviously I think we're going to be